In performing antimicrobial susceptibility testing, prepare a bacterial suspension by adding 3 ml NSS to a test tube and mix an isolated colony with it. Do not forget to perform aseptic technique before and after using the inoculating loop and when opening and closing the culture plate with growth. After preparing the bacterial suspension, compare it with the McFarland standard to check the suspension's turbidity. Once set, dip the cotton swab into the suspension. Then, perform the 3+1 lawn streaking technique on the MH plate. Once the MH plate is prepared and all set, put in place the antibiotic discs. Use forceps in dispensing the discs and do not forget to perform aseptic technique before and after usage. In the placement of the discs, make sure to provide enough space between them. Once the MH plate is set containing the antibiotic discs, do not forget to label the plate. Then, incubate it to allow growth of bacteria. After incubation, read and measure the zone of inhibition that can be observed on the plate. In the interpretation of the zone of inhibition, a bacteria is resistant to the antibiotic when the zone of inhibition is less than 14 millimeters. When the zone of inhibition is 15 to 17 millimeters, then it is regarded as intermediate. Lastly, the bacteria may be interpreted as susceptible or sensitive to the antibiotic if the zone of inhibition is greater than 18 millimeters. First, prepare a clean glass slide and do not forget to perform aseptic technique before using it. Remember to label the slide. In making a sputum smear, fish out 1 loopful of yellowish particle of sputum and spread evenly on a slide with an applicator stick. Remember to use the 2 cm by 3 cm template in preparing the AFB smear. When smearing for AFB, create small concentric circles or coil-like patterns. After making the smear, allow it to dry completely at room temperature. Fix the dried smear by passing through the flame 2 to 3 times. Place the slide on a staining bridge and pour carbol fuchsin onto the whole surface of the slide. Heat the slide till steam comes off from the stain. Do not boil and do not allow the slides to dry and leave it for 5 minutes. Remove excess stain by tilting the slide and wash with water. Then, decolorize with acid alcohol. After decolorizing, wash with water and tilt slide to drain excess water. Counterstain with methylene blue for 10 seconds. Remove excess stain by tilting the slide and wash with water. Place the slide on the slide rack to dry in the air. In reading the sample, proceed to microscopy. Place a drop of immersion oil and examine under oil immersion objective. Then identify the presence or absence of acid-fast bacilli. Correctly report the result according to the National Standard Reporting Scale. In the test performed, the first AFB smear appears to have a 0 grading since there are no observed bacilli in the sample. Then a +3 grading is given to the second AFB smear since there are 3 acid-fast bacilli observed in 100 view fields.